The detention of 7 villagers, including children as young as 3 months and 2 years, by colonial authorities in Ngoketunjia has sparked widespread concern. The detainees held for over a week are being used as leverage to secure the release of the Colonial Brigade commander of BBC arrested by the Amazonian State Army. According to reports, the detainees are Madam Seraph, Julius Wayang, Joycelyn and Doom, and a mother. Jocelyn Ndum is a mother of a 3-year-old baby and 3 other family members. The Colonial SDO from Ngoketunjia Division, Henderson Kwitong Konge, ordered their abduction, citing the need to secure the colonial commander's release. This move has raised serious concerns about the use of civilians, especially children, in the war conflicts. The detention of children, some mere infants, is particularly disturbing. These children are innocent and should not be subjected to the harsh conditions of detention. Their safety and well being are at risk, and their continued detention is a cause for great concern. And so the authorities are urged to take immediate action to release the detained children and their family members. The use of civilians as leverage in conflict is unacceptable and violates fundamental human rights. The colonial government must prioritize the safety and well-being of its citizens, especially children, and work towards a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The international and the whole world at large must also take note of this situation and call for immediate release of these detained children. For all we know, the world frowns at the use of children in conflict, and it is a serious violation of human rights and international law. It is our collective responsibility to protect the most vulnerable members of the society. Tonight on Undaunted, we have our regular in-house analyst, Barrister Team Base here, and a guest tonight, Commander Elvis, joining us. Good evening, sirs. Barrister
Thank you
Base
for
here, how are
having
you doing
us.
today?
Great, and thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, Onye. Thanks for having us.
Okay, I'm trying to check if the poll volume is from you or can get a clearer sound as we proceed with tonight's conversation. Barrister Mbasia. And so because someone was detained, children had to be detained as well. How do you see this report?
Well, I think last 2 days ago we analyzed this thing, and I came to the same conclusion that taking people hostage is not being detained, it's hostage taking. They are being held in hostage, which is illegal. Hostage taking is just illegal. You're not allowed to do that. But because I've already said that, let me go back again and try to analyze something. Who is ordering this hostage taking? Is somebody called an administrator, a khaki wearing guy who calls himself DO, appointed by presidential decree. A DO is not an investigator of crimes. If these people who are being held commit any crimes, it is not within the powers of the DO to investigate the offenses. Now, you send it to the state council, which state council is imbued with authority and the tools to investigate crimes. In a true society, he has gendarmes available with him. He has police officers available with him. He has even secret agents who can infiltrate community to find out what's going on. That is the authority supposed to investigate crime. And so this Mr. Dio has no power to hold people for anything's sake. But in Cameroon, they have something again, which is very unfortunate, called administrative detention, which he tried to do, but we detain you for so many weeks, renewable. What is administrative detention? Just being held, legally or illegally, by some administrator or some khaki wearing guy to fulfill his or their political motives. And so, what is all this thing going to us? In Ambazonia of yesterday and of tomorrow, Do we ever have any administrative officers? Call them DOs. We also had DOs who ordered people to be detained without bail. Because even the constitution of the Cameroon there that they have, detention is the exception, freedom is the rule. And so they have no reason to hold these people in any form or shape. Again, one of the greatest misfortune that we ever faced was to get into this system where some people called DOs, administrators, who have termed themselves chef de terre, have unlimited powers to do everything they want to do with you. They are illegal. In the future, Ambazonia, there will not be such nonsense, such idiots trained in a school in Yaoundé, whose sole training is to go and torture people, whose sole training is to go and extract money from people, and extort, and torture, and go with impunity. And so, again, even if these guys have committed offenses, if they committed any offense which are even supposed to be investigated by the prosecutor, what have the babies committed? What offense did the babies commit that they're being hurt there? Nothing. And again, I said, abduction, hostage taking has become the order of the day. There's nothing that people will not do to enforce their illegal occupation, to impose their rule on us. They did it before, other times before. I always mention the typical example of Moja in Buya, who used guns to arrest women, abduct them, hold them hostage, so they might go and bring their former boyfriends, whom they suspect were fighting for Amazonia. And so this is just wrong. It's nationally wrong. It's internationally condemnable. It's internationally punishable. And as I said before, it's only a question of time these people are going to be held accountable. And Mr. Dio has said before, you are going to be held accountable as an individual. You're not going to invoke your presidential decree. You're not going to invoke your so-called administrative detention. You'll be held accountable under international law, which international law does not recognize what you're doing. And so, again, it's something very, very condemnable. It is condemned. It should never have happened to us, which is why we fight to get out of this jungle of justice and find ourselves. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Barrister Mbasia. Commander Elvis, before we get to the climax of the reason why you are here, we want you to join the conversation. We all know that worldwide, in other climes, it is extremely wrong. In fact, it is a crime to hold children in detention. There are juvenile prisons for teenagers, but definitely not babies of 2 months and 2 years. What would be your thought on this?
Thank you very much for that great opportunity, Onye. And I want to start by also thanking Bob Besser for his great input. As you have rightly said, there is no reason why somebody should have toddlers in jail while um, allerging to actually go after um, people for who he is fighting against. Right. The Ngoketunjia Amazonian State Army has issued a very stern statement, and the fighters in Ngoketunjia all came together with one intent, and they sent a clear statement that it would be an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth until everybody goes blind. Uh, Under no circumstances would they allow La Republic and their terrorists to come into their villages and kidnap their civilians and go unpunished. For that, they have instituted a lockdown, which is currently in effect, making sure that there is no movement whatsoever. They have called on the release of those individuals detained unjustly by that colonial administrator, the so-called deal colonial deal in Ngoketunjia, the Amazonian State Army has come out very clear and unequivocal in denouncing those acts that they have carried out against their population. I don't think any human would find that just or find any reason for such an action. They claim that the Amazonian State Army arrested one of their elements, for which they know that they are in a war zone. And they have been advised to hand their weapons over at the nearest Amazonian State Armed Forces barracks and be provided safe exit to neighboring countries. For the stubborn fly would always follow dead body into the grave. Those that have been apprehended, if at all anybody is apprehended, would face the law of the land. Amazonia, as they know, is the land of no return, where any La Republic element that is sent to go and kill or distort or steal from the population is going surely never to return. Whatever happened to the element is up to them to find out. We do not have any clear confirmation that our forces apprehended any of theirs. We do not have any evidence of him in our keeping anywhere. So they have been carrying out such barbaric uh, arrests for the longest. A lot of our civilians have disappeared in such a manner where they just come to a family, they arrest everybody in that family, they take them to prisons, and we end up not even knowing their whereabouts again. In the middle of the night, they take them and they go somewhere and just shoot them, throw them out there. This is a terror tactic that La Republic have been using on our population for the longest of times. Unfortunately for them, this time around, they have been caught with their hands in the cookie jar. They have been discovered with families of not only just those two you mentioned. It's at least 7 individuals from one family that have been arrested. There is no evidence for why these people are being arrested. No just reason. Matter of fact, they are illegal in our land, and they have no reason to arrest anybody in our land. If somebody should be arresting, it should be us doing the arrest on them, because of the extortions that they're doing in our territory, which are unjust. So we continue to call on the great defenders of our land, call on our Amazonian State Armed Forces nationwide to continue to mount fierce resistance against the occupier in all forms of their tactics that they would employ upon our population. Thank you, ABC, once more for sounding this alarm bell and taking the plight of our people to the international community. So we are not left away. So we understand, our people understand what is actually happening in the ground. That this is not a one-time thing. DOs have been fond of acting with impunity, thinking that they have the yam and the knife. However, we in Amazonia would not condone to such actions, and that is why we are very grateful for ABC again for this exposure. And I yield.